Welcome to episode 41 of Dad's Rank Things. I'm Jones.
I'm Tyler. And here we are, summertime hits. And it's not for everyone, as I learned talking to Jones, but, you know, when it's time to visit the theme parks, where are you going to go? Where are you going to flock to? What rides are you going to take? Or what are you not going to take?
More than likely not going to take.
For Jones' case. You know, the older you get, the more you realize, like, man, roller coasters are hard.
Yeah, hard on the body, as is everything else is hard on the body. This is going to be a weird list because Tyler loves going to amusement parks and loves their rides, where I almost died on a ride one time when I was like 7 or 8 years old, so I kind of avoid them now, besides doing the little ones with the kids. So his are going to be like really nitty-gritty and made for the audience who loves rides. Mine is going to be made for the people who just do it because everybody else is doing it.
Okay.
Appease. I'll appease.
I'm all right with that. Yeah, so we're gonna rank the top 3 amusement park rides, generally or specifically. Mine are gonna be pretty specific, so I'm gonna try to help you out and give you something that you have to go see or ride if you ever get the chance. And my number 3 starts at Disney World. Animal Kingdom is the location of this one, and it is the 3D Avatar ride.
Oh.
Now, you know, since then I've been on several 3D rides, just going to Universal and experiencing some other things. So sometimes your first is your best,
Right.
You know, and so maybe I'm in that mindset because I had never experienced what that Avatar ride gave me, you know,
Okay.
and you don't really. It'd be like you are there the whole time, you know, but everything else is moving around you, and you feel like you're taking part in the adventure.
Avatar is a movie for 3D. I saw it in 3D for the first time, and it was like mind-opening because the experience
you know
that you're enveloped in is just crazy.
And this could be a whole nother show, but we've never seen anything like it since.
Right. The Avatar 2's coming out hopefully in 2022, but we'll see if it gets done.
You had
But
the glasses
that
and you
crazy
saw the
thing.
depth and the people.
Most expensive movie still ever made was Avatar.
I really enjoyed it.
I liked it too.
The ride is amazing. So for me, I don't know if you've gone on any of these rides. Would you? I don't know. You're queasing this.
3D is not bad for me.
You don't move. You're just on a thing.
Yeah, the moving part's a weird thing for me. But,
And so I would recommend it for you if you can handle that. But for everybody, for sure, that's you have to do that one.
Okay. My number 3 is the TiltAWhirl, or in Disney, it's the teacup ride, of course.
Oh my God!
This one,
You're going right out of the game with the spinnies.
This one is the one that I've thrown up on whenever I was a teenager, but I will still ride this with my girls just to see their faces because they think they're doing something
you spin
to me.
it?
While I let them spin it.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I ride it, is because they get so engaged of like, I got to spin this and I'm going to make Daddy throw up or whatever the case is. So I have an age limit of what I will ride this on my girls with. And once it hits 15 or 16, you're done, because by then that time they're strong enough in order to make it happen to me. So
my wife will not do this.
she won't do it till
No, and she is okay with, like, you know, big roller coasters. If we go to the teacups, Dad is in. And I don't care. It don't bother me, but it's funny that you start out with that one because you're like the queasy guy.
Right.
And you're like, teacups, let's go, spin me around.
My girls are young enough that there is no effect. They just kind of wiggle back and forth. Yeah, they go
rotate.
They don't go 360 yet. They just wink.
You'll have to know your limit then.
My number 2 is the County Fair Special, and that's the super duper big slide.
Oh,
so
yeah,
not a lot of
slide.
amusement parks, but again, county fairs where you can see this. You hop on a burlap sack. For people who are not familiar with county fairs, you hop on a burlap sack and you go down a slide about 100 feet long, up and down until you reach the bottom, and you go about 70 miles per hour or until you bonk your head. Either one. But the County Fair slide is one of my favorites because, again, the face of my girls as they go down it is what's enjoyable, and of course to race other people as you're going down it too is the competitive spirit in me.
I don't know if we have a lot of city folk that watch our show. I think we do have some, but they're very confused by burlap sack on a slide at a county fair.
Right. A burlap sack, what you put potatoes in back in the 1970s, but they may not make them anymore. Who knows? But they use a burlap sack to slide down on the big slide.
It increases the speed and the traction
and the itchiness whenever you get off.
So you don't, your butt isn't going to do the trick, but that is going to make you go faster. So
Correct.
That's, for those city folk, that's why we use those here in these rural areas that we take part in. My number 2, and I don't know why it worked out this way, but when I look back and reflect, and people ask me, hey, what did you like most about Disney? I was drawn most towards the Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Thought it was the best area. And so my number 2 is called Everest. And Everest is a true roller coaster, and it is in between. It's not like way crazy and scary and flips all over the place, but it's also not like that was weak sauce. Why did I waste my time, right? So it's in that perfect middle ground of where you can enjoy it, have a sense of like, wait a second, what's happening? And then realize when you're done, like, okay, that was definitely worth it.
Is it called Everest because of how high it climbs?
Yeah, it's like set in an Everest setting. So when you go into Animal Kingdom, there is like a Mount Everest peak that you kind of walk towards, and the whole roller coaster set around, don't get killed by the Yeti.
Oh, okay.
So it's the one too that goes in and out of darkness. So it's you can't see for a while, you can see for a while, and then you're flying to a spot, and then you look ahead of you, and there's no track left. Right? And then so you get to that spot and it stops. And now the people there are clever, right? They put a bunch of hair ties from girls and stuff like that, things that might have fallen out of people's pockets all along the side because you're kind of upside down.
Yeah.
It was really good. I noticed that maybe the second time I did the ride. But yeah, you hit that spot where the track ends, and then basically you have to go backwards, back through the roller coaster. It takes you a different way, though, than you came the initial time. So that's
surprising a little bit.
It's surprising. It's good. It's got like every little thing that you want, every little nuance you want in a roller coaster without like overwhelming you, but definitely not underwhelming you. So for me, that's where I go for my number 2, is Everest. Now my number 1 is not for the faint of heart. Okay, it is called Millennium Force, and it is at an amusement park called Cedar Point, which is in Ohio, and it's like the king amusement park of all amusement parks. Like, if rides are the place to go, and you have kids and they like them, you don't have to go on all of them with your kids, but you need to go there because it is worth it. It is all out. So I'll get you some highlights here, all right, on their description of the roller coaster. 300 feet wasn't the only record broken when it opened in 2000. And then you mean 300-foot drop. Okay, it debuted.
Football field?
It debuted having the longest drop and the fastest speed. It tops out at 93.8 miles per hour on the downslope. Because when you're going up, like you are literally straight back looking at the sky, and it gets so high. I felt like I could see like 3 cities. I was so high, and then it just goes straight down, and you hit 98 miles an hour, and that's when it goes into through these like lagoons and rivers and things like that. But you're just flying. You're like at that 98 miles per hour almost the whole time. 100% worth it. It's the ultimate like. Everybody wants to go up and down on a roller coaster. This just does it right out of the gate.
The closest to death you've ever been.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I went on there like 2 or 3 times, and it's definitely worth it. But I also, Jones, real quick side story. I went on one of the standing rides. You stand up in it, and they're like, don't lock any of your muscles or whatever. And I swear, like I was working my hardest not to. I got off of that ride and I had a knot in my calf. Like
you're just tense.
It took like an hour and a half or 2 hours to come out. I thought I got hurt. I thought I like ripped a muscle because of the intensity of that ride. So I'm out on standing rides. I don't do the standing rides anymore.
I can't imagine because I've been to like 2 or 3 roller coasters, and after that I was done. I aged out really quick. So that's the reason my number 1 is the carousel. You get, the horsey ride.
I thought you were going to go Ferris wheel.
No, that's just a horsey ride. Ferris wheel's too high. I'm scared of heights, so I can't do that. So, yes, this is the minimize manhood list that I have right now. But the carousel, how can you be on it and not smile? That's the reason why it's my number 1. You never see anybody on it just mad as hell on it, just pissed off. Because everybody's smiling whenever you go around and you up and down on the horsey.
You don't.
And take pictures. And most of the time you have like younger kids on it.
Yeah.
But occasionally you'll see adults and older adults and
the guy, I tried to ride one this past weekend, and the guy told me I couldn't sit on the horse.
Oh, you were too
And
big.
I was like, I understand. I don't want to break your carousel, sir.
True.
And then it had a little bit more pace than I thought it was. Maybe it was better I'm standing here.
In my mind, zoos are the best place to ride the carousels because they have all the animals that you just seen, and so you get to ride all the animals on the zoo.
Yes.
So carousels are everywhere, and everybody's happy on them.